How you guys doing today? You sound good. I mean, how could you not be good with all the amazing presentations and everything that's happened today? I need to start off just by saying that I love this. I love that this is happening. I love that you guys are here. I love you for being here. And it's really special to get to be a part of this growing community and a part of this conversation. And while conversing isn't the only thing that we should be doing, it's a great step. And I think that the conversations that are happening here these last couple of days are really important. So thank you guys for being here, and thank you for letting me be a part of what's going on. All I have to share with you guys is my story, as anyone else has. And I hope that in some way it sparks just a little bit of encouragement or excitement for you, because as I think you'll find, it wasn't that we were anything more special or that we knew something, but that we just started pursuing our passions and chasing after a dream. It's called Krochet Kids International, and we are both a lifestyle brand and a nonprofit organization. But before I get too far into what we do and who we are today, I need to go back to where we began, and that was when I was in high school. Not too long ago, my older brother came home from college. He had been in San Diego his first year. I waited for him to come back, and I was like, teach me what you learned your first year of college. Like, what was it like? Was it amazing? And he comes home back to Spokane, Washington, and said, well, I learned how to crochet. And I was just like, no way, man. Really? Like, of all things you learn in San Diego living on the beach, you learn how to crochet. And he's like, yeah, it's awesome. I was like, okay, I'll try it. So he taught me, and we were big skiers and snowboarders living in the Northwest, and so we started making these hats, and I taught a few of my close friends, and we started this company where we were called the Krochet Kids. And at that point, we were just making custom beanies for anyone and everyone we knew, teachers, family, friends, and we were saving this money, and we weren't sure what we were going to do with it, but we were strict that all the money was just going back into buying more yarn and making more hats. And what we decided, being any smart high school student, was there was one goal in life at that point, and that goal was to have a killer senior prom. And so we broke into the bank a little bit, I'll say, and rented this nice. I went with the powder blue tux, cummerbund ruffles, you name it. We rented out a hot air balloon ride for our prom dates. We rented out a roller skating rink for our friends, and we were like, sponsored by Krochet Kids. And we thought literally a couple things. One, that was the end of our crochet career, and second, that life had literally reached its pinnacle, and it was only going downhill from there. So it was a little depressing, but as any of you in this room probably realize, there's more to life than your senior prom. At least I hope so. If not, come talk to me afterward, and we can dive through that. But moving on from there, we had different opportunities. And as we went to college, we tried to leave the crocheting behind us, and we had opportunities to travel. Started to understand people living in developing nations as people and not these statistics. And that as we started to ask that question, what, if anything, could we do to help? It wasn't about serving the world water crisis or changing one thing forever, but it was about helping one person, helping them take a step forward. And at one point, we found ourselves in Uganda, and many of you are probably familiar with the situation that has unfolded there over the last 2 decades or more. Civil war, rebel armies, all of that, and government camps where people were living in when we first showed up there in the early 2000s. And more, we asked people, said, what could we do to help? Is there anything that we could offer? And surprisingly, what we got in response was their own solution. And they said, we want to work. We want to be the ones providing for ourselves and our families. We are sick and tired of people coming in and trying to do that for us. Look at us. We're capable people. We have ideas, dreams, and visions. And for us, that sparked a light bulb. It sparked an idea that so much of our concept of charity and our good intentions fell on people and left them in a cycle of dependency that was even potentially harder to break from. And so we went back to the drawing board and we said, okay, where does that sit with us? How do we do anything about that? This is a new idea that we had, a new concept that we'd never really come across. And so for us, we dug back into literally still being halfway through college, literally the one thing we actually knew how to do, and that was to crochet. As much as we tried to fight it, we were like, this is something we know. And the beauty of it is in its simplicity, in hook and yarn, and the beautiful things that you could make. All we knew was hats, and so we started there. And we applied to become a nonprofit, and with a group of our close friends and those same two friends from high school, we traveled back to Uganda, and with the help of a few local organizations, we taught an initial group of 10 women to crochet. And from there, it really sparked the question in us, and we said, okay, if we're about helping people break the cycle of poverty, if we're about empowerment, if we set out on this idea and this mission to empower people to rise above poverty, far beyond just giving them one thing or providing one of their needs, what does that look like? We know we can start with a job, but the question milling around in the back of our heads was this: how do we love people to the fullest extent possible? How do we take care of the whole person and not just look at compartmentalized sections of their life? And the more that we asked that question, the more that we decided to unpack that idea, the more that we became unapologetic about the fact that we went deep, that we cared for individuals to the fullest extent possible, and that we weren't going to be an organization that was going to focus on solving issues for hundreds and thousands of people, but that we would focus on one person and we would help them from A to Z. And the more that we got to know the people we were working with, the more that we partnered with them in that. We said, okay, what are your dreams? What do you want for yourself? And we got to create a plan and a path and really a theory of change that helped people realize their full potential. And the things that came as a result, it started with a job. It started with someone being able to provide for all of their immediate needs of them and their family. We realized shortly thereafter that people earning an income for the first time may not know how to manage or save or use or budget that money. So we started a curriculum, educational curriculum, to help them with things like literacy, budgets and savings, future business plans and developments. And then we coupled all that with this idea of mentorship, because if our message was to people we were working with that you are capable of creating your own destiny, of pursuing things independent from the help of any other aid organization, that you need to be thinking about the things and passions that drive you, the things that make you come alive. And we need to help you pursue those things. And so the mentorship program plays a couple different roles in allowing people to, for the first time, once they have those immediate things taken care of in their life, dream about the future. What do you want to be? What are you good at? A lot of the same questions that we ask ourselves here today. If I could be doing anything, what would I be doing, and how do I create a plan and a path to do that? If I can save some money, how am I using that to get to that point? And then the other important aspect of our mentorship program of truly impacting people is measurement. Too often we look at an impact that we have and we write a number down on paper, but we don't follow through with each individual and understand how their progress is happening. And our mentors every month get to sit down with each one of our ladies and on a measurement of 45 variables, we look at how they are taking steps and progressing out of poverty. I should say here that we have expanded a little bit, that we started in Uganda with 10 ladies, and within the last 4 or 5 years, we've grown to employing 150 women in Uganda, and we launched a second operation in Peru. And there, we not only make hats, but we make apparel and other fashion accessories. This was a celebration of our 1-year anniversary that took place this last year, and we celebrated with sack races and cake, because I'm pretty sure those are the main ingredients for any celebration, or at least should be. But the beauty of the work that we do is that it doesn't end on the ground. It doesn't stop with the empowering work that we do with those relationships, mentor and beneficiary, that we help provide and equip people with the skill set and the tools that they need. The byproduct of all their hard work are actual products. They're hats. They're bags now as of this fall. They're a collaboration or collaborations with companies like Van Shoes in the creation of product. Those hats are sold, and being a nonprofit, make up the large majority of all of our revenue, because when we were first starting, we saw that we wanted to have an aversion toward donor dependency, toward people having to support our work and to take a little bit of that responsibility on ourselves. And so hats are sold at Nordstom and Urban Outfitters and places around the country and the globe that help fund our work, but it doesn't end there. I think the most beautiful thing, the thing that I get most excited about with our work is that each and every one of our pieces is hand-signed by the person that made it. And Father Gregory Boyle, talking last night, talked about this idea of kinship, that when you know somebody, it's impossible to hate them. It's impossible to not relate with them. And that was the experience that we had in traveling and understanding poverty more, was that there was this great disconnect, that people thought, oh, people in Uganda, people in other countries, people living in poverty are so very different than me. I could never relate to them. I feel guilty, and they could never relate to who I am or the things that I have. And the more that we started to work in these communities and on an individual basis with women, we saw their stories and their dreams, and we saw these things that tied us together as humanity, the things that are undeniable, that are inside all of us, no matter where you're found in any part of this globe. And we wanted people to connect. How could somebody here in the U.S. even begin to understand what it was like for someone in Uganda, or how beautiful they were, what we could learn from one another? And so we started with a hand signature. And in that way, somebody knows that there's a person behind their product. But we go on from there, and on our website, we tell the story and provide a little bit of character and personality behind this person. This Beatrice, who is she? What does she like to do? What are her dreams for her future? And in that way, our hope and our goal is in education and helping people understand that somebody living maybe so far away, that has grown up in so very different circumstances, that you have things to relate on, that you have ways in which to support one another, that you have things to learn from them. And we even take it a step further, and we encourage our consumer to write thank you notes to the ladies, to Beatrice, to encourage and to inspire and to thank them. And being a part of Crochet Kids, I have the great opportunity to deliver these thank you notes. And I tell you that it is the absolute X factor in our work. That you can, just a human truth is that any one of us in this room, across the country, could be equipped, could be given all of the tools and resources we need to accomplish the goals that we have in our life. But if there is nobody there to believe in us, and if we didn't believe in ourselves, we would go nowhere. And so the role in which we invite our customers into is saying, hey, let that person know that your hat that you wear means something to you, that it's significant. And these notes come in and they say simple things like, you know, Beatrice, I love my hat. It keeps me warm in the snow and cold. And you probably don't know what snow is, but it's not fun all the time. And it freezes my head off. And your hat provides a value to me. And to deliver these notes to these ladies and just see their pride and their confidence in themselves just burst and overflow. They're like, yeah, I did that. I'm good. I can make cool products that people in America like, or that are sold in these fancy stores. And it begins that process to understand, if I can do this, if I am capable of creating and producing something good and beautiful, that maybe there are other areas in my life that I can pursue and that I can accomplish as well. And the result of all of that is this, that women like Beatrice are equipped with the income, the education, the mentorship and support, and the confidence in their ability to pursue their own dreams independent from any organization, from any outside help. Starting kiosks, starting other businesses, purchasing motorcycles and putting their husbands to work. They're like, hey, you're working too, buddy. You're not getting out of this. And that is the vision and the hope of our work in what we mean when we say this is empowerment. That we would believe people are capable and equip them with the things that truly enable them to live into and be who they were meant to be. That's the story, and we're sticking to it. And on a side note, I got this lovely Crochet Kids hair clip, and it was in a bag that I received as a part of Plywood Presents, which was very nice of them, but my hair clip collection is quite extensive. So I'm going to throw this out to somebody out here in the audience. I'll see if I can get it to you. And since I have a little bit of time left, I want to share two more thoughts with you, and that's this. Reorient your concept of impact and then measure. Thinking, the thing that we're all charged with is we want to make a difference. We want to make an impact in the world, and we want to leave people better off than when we started with them, and we want to set them up for success. So really be thinking about that and then measuring how that happens, not just saying, this many people walk through our doors every day, but being able to quantify how people's lives are actually changing. And then there's this, use your skills, gifts, the things that you know and love to do to make a difference now. Because if we use something as small and as simple as crocheting, I guarantee that you all in this room have skills and things that are probably way cooler, way more relevant than crocheting. People look at us most times and they're like, really? You crochet? Like, that's your thing? And I'm like, yeah, I crochet. I'm there. You guys have things that really can make a difference and an impact. And don't wait. And it doesn't, the whole point of this conference isn't to say that I'm going to teach a crochet class after this, and then you guys should take that and travel to different countries and teach. No, the point is to find what drives you, what makes you passionate about something, and pursue that. And that is what is most important. So since we have a little bit of time left, would you guys like to see another Kid President video? Right? So it was really fun to meet Brad while here. We had talked over the phone a number of times, and just about a year ago, we put together this idea, and I think it's right in line with the rest of what this conference is about. So here you are. Thank you, guys. Thank you. That's all I have for you. I'll be hanging out a little bit if you guys want to ask more questions. So, and this is Jeff Schinnebarger.
Kohl, so this whole session has been about community, and I got to visit you at HQ, and even how you guys set up your desks. They literally had like 20 desks all facing one another. They have this huge warehouse, and they were all in this small area. So obviously, you guys value community. How has that played a big role in your team and how you developed this project?
Yeah, I think it's been a lot of things. I think really early on, the biggest thing we recognized was that if we wanted to make any kind of change on a broader scale or reach a wider audience, it was going to be beyond us. It had to be more than just us. And so the entire time that we've been at our work, it's been about bringing people into this story and letting them own it, letting them be the voice and carrying that message further. Because if it's just me just shouting a message to as many people as I can, I will still only reach so many people. So equipping people with this story and equipping them with this idea that they can be a Crochet Kid, that they are very much a part of this, and that we would be nothing without their love and support, whether that's our staff or supporters or anyone who wants to take part in our work. That's important.
That's great. Well, let's thank Kohl for...
Thank you, guys.